now is your take like this psychoanalysis theology? Is this for people like me and Alfie who are very interested in theory and psychoanalysis? Is it for people like us? Or is it for Christians? Is it for people that are going to church every Sunday, maybe for a couple decades?
Well, I'm trying to make you guys Christians. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make you Christians. I'm going to tell you, you already are. You just don't know it. That is the trick. You're already one of us.
Right.
And I mean, we can delve into what I mean by that, in a second. But I'm interested in this from a theoretical perspective, but also from a liturgical perspective. And by that, I mean, I am interested in creating what I call communions of the contradiction, spaces in which people can encounter the self-divided nature of themselves and of reality. And for me, that is a theological and religious vocation. And currently there is a God that we all worship, and it is the God of the demand to enjoy. So there's a super-egoic God of enjoyment. And my work is designed to overthrow that God of the demand to enjoy that we see on Instagram and Facebook and in every movie and magazine, in which there is an uncastrated, non-divided other who is enjoying. I fundamentally, basically, I believe, I used to say, it's not a question of whether there's life after death. The question is whether there's life before death. But I was completely wrong. The question is whether there's life after death. And psychoanalysis answers it definitively and says, yes, that our birth into life fundamentally comes out of a death. There is a death that, now it's retroactive death, but there is a pound of flesh, a fundamental loss, a fundamental castration that occurs out of which subjectivity arises. And we tend to imagine a way to return to that supposedly life before death, a place, that oceanic oneness. And in the past, there was the God of prohibition, the God who says we're all castrated except for one. Maybe God in heaven is uncastrated, is not held by the incest taboo, is whole and complete, right? But everybody else is castrated. But today we live, Todd McGowan would say, under the power of the God who demands enjoyment, who says that we can all be undivided, uncastrated, fully have pleasure. And basically, I'm here with the gospel of nihilism. I sell nihilism for cash. I basically help people escape the tyranny of happiness. And I'll say one last thing about it. And this is the God who is himself or itself castrated, the self-castrated God. And the name of that God is the crucified Christ.
Right. If you're selling nihilism for cash, which one is that? Is that what we do, me and Alfie do, or is that church? Which is this both again? What is the nihilism you're selling?
I would say, well, what I would say is what I'm trying to create is a community, a desert in the oasis of life, in which we can experience our own lack, our own self-dividedness, but also see how that self-dividedness is woven into reality itself through liturgy, through music, through art, through poetry. I would say, Elliot, you do it one-on-one with individuals. I'd say Alfie probably does this theoretically with students. I want to do it liturgically with a new form of religion.